This is exactly how you're going to lose 2 to 5 kilos in 30 days in 2026, the nutrition edition, right? So the first thing I want to cover is what I call the plate method. What is the plate method, you ask? It's very simple. You got a busy day at work, you're working at a desk all day, you've got loads of meetings. On top of that, you've got a family life, you've got so many things going on. The last thing you need to do is add more work to your plate, literally, right? And start counting calories. Now, it does work, but you're not a bodybuilder. If you're anything like the people I work with, you're just trying to be as fit and healthy as possible in your life and not have your whole life revolve around fitness. You still want to do well in your career, in your family life, in your social life, right? Now that we got out of the way, that's where the plate method comes in. So the plate method is, in this green circle, imagine it's a plate. You're going to use the exact same plate for every single meal, or you can have one plate for breakfast, one for dinner, one for lunch, a tub, a container. I don't really care. The point is you stick to it basically every single day, whenever you can. And you divide that plate into proteins and carbs. I would aim for 75% of your plate to be proteins and 25% of your plate to be carbs. Obviously, the best sources you can find. I'm not talking about fried chicken or anything like that, right? Talking about fish, grilled chicken, steak, eggs, that sort of thing. And then the carbs, you're thinking rice, potatoes, etc. Now, the reason I say 75%, which may seem like a lot to some people, is you're never really going to always get 75%. It's probably going to end up sometimes being between 75% and half, and that's absolutely fine. The point is you don't want to go any less than half. If you aim for 75%, you'll probably fall a little shorter. Now, the reason for this split is because protein is going to allow you to be satiated, right? You're going to be fuller for longer. If you're fuller for longer, you won't overeat. Pretty simple. But you still need carbs. Carbs are going to allow your brain to function properly. You're at the computer all day, you're at your desk all day, you're talking to clients, you're doing all sorts of things. You need brain power, right? You don't want to starve yourself. And your body's already so used to relying on carbs, there's no point getting rid of them. Now, when you do this and you stick to it for each meal, what's going to happen is as you track your weight, right? Because this isn't a magical fix, but as you track your weight and you see that, oh, I'm losing weight, now you're eating the right amount. If you see your weight staying the same or going up, all you have to do is decrease the volume on the plate. You keep the proportions the same, and now you're eating less without having to count the number of calories on the plate. Because even if it's different foods, different meals, whatever, people end up eating more or less the same sort of things over time. So all averages out, it's fine. But the point is now, because you've got the same plate, you can just reduce the portion size a little bit and you can start eating slightly less and allow yourself to lose a bit more weight. Or if it was the opposite and you wanted to put on weight, for example, you could just increase the volume on the plate. Right? So it's very simple. It requires a little bit of trial and error in the beginning, but you often find that it clicks into place very quickly. Now that we got it out of the way, this is partnered with no snacks. I'm trying to keep it as very simple and very easy for you because you've got to do it in 30 days and we just want you to get results. Snacks are your enemy. All the food you eat throughout the day should be in your main meals, whether it's 2, 3, 4, I don't care. No snacks. Now, if you're at home, the best way to do this is to avoid buying any of the unhealthy snacks in the first place. Don't even leave them there. It significantly reduces the chances of you eating any sort of junk food or snacks in general because it's just extra calories. If you're in the office, this is where the plate method comes in handy a lot because if you make sure you're full up on protein from your lunch, from your breakfast, and you've got a right amount of carbs in, you're not going to spike your blood sugar. If you had a really unhealthy lunch with loads of carbs, for example, and this was reversed, your blood sugar is going to be really high, which makes you want more carbs, right? Because your body's, what goes up must come down. So the blood sugar goes up and then it crashes again, which is why you end up craving more junk food. And the easiest way to get it back up again is quick fixes, which is why you start craving sugar. So if you can just have a little bit of willpower and make the right decision to not snack, you'll get away with it and you'll be absolutely fine. It might take a bit of getting used to, especially if you're in an environment where you can't control the snacks, for example, in your office. But if this is the case, remember, make sure you eat as much as possible to keep full, right? At least 80% full when you actually eat your lunch, and you'll be less likely to snack. And then worst case scenario, if you do end up snacking, it won't be as bad as if you had to go on a binge fest because you ate too many carbs at lunch, right? So this is literally as simple as it gets. Follow the plate method, don't snack, and obviously track your weight when you're trying to lose weight, your body fat, etc., and then just adjust accordingly. This will allow you to lose 2 to 5 kilos in 30 days easily. This alone will allow you to do that. Partner it with this, and now you've got a sustainable method for 2026. If it's not out already, it will be. I've got my workout edition next, and then my recovery edition after that. So be sure to check that out. And if you would like help implementing this, so you can skip the trial and error and just go straight to getting results, there's a link in the description below to book a free one-to-one health audit with me, where I can go through exactly what you've been trying so far, where you want to get to, and help you put a plan in place that covers everything, and then you can just execute. Link in the description.